When I was rewatching Ben 10, I noticed this tiny detail that bugs me every single time. It's Albedo. Why is he so dumb for someone who's supposed to be one of the smartest beings? In the Ben 10 universe, he makes some seriously dumb decisions. For an example, if Albedo is so smart, why didn't he figure out Vilgax is gonna betray him? At the end of the alien force, Vilgax and Albedo team up, make a deal. Vilgax conquer the Earth and destroy Ben 10, and Albedo take the Omnitrix. But at the end, Vilgax take Omnitrix and lock up Albedo. As an intelligent being, Albedo should have figured it out. You're telling me the guy who built an Omnitrix couldn't predict the oldest betrayal trick in the book? So I started to investigate this. Closer I look, more hidden details I found. In this video, we are gonna go through those mind-blowing facts. The first reason why he makes his decisions is his ego. When we saw Albedo in the past, there are many key points that show he believes he is smarter than anyone.
Aside from Azmuth himself, I am the only Galvan with sufficient intelligence. Even Azmuth couldn't have solved that. Not under these conditions.
Albedo genuinely believes he's smarter than Azmuth, not just in theory, but in practice. He sees himself as the only one truly worthy of wielding the Omnitrix.
I will not trust the universe's fate to an unworthy human. If my Omnitrix cannot function, I will have his.
The only one who understands its full potential. And honestly, having an ego for Albedo can be kinda justified. He did build his own Omnitrix from scratch. And Albedo was Azmuth's assistant, being the assistant of smartest being in 5 galaxies. So yeah, his pride, kinda justified. That alone should prove Albedo is a genius, even among Galvans. To put that into perspective, take Blukik and Dryba. They're considered dumb by Galvan standards, like bottom of the class. But these two still managed to build a working teleporter, something that would make them look like gods on Earth. So yeah, if that is what Galvans call dumb, imagine what smart looks like to them. Albedo isn't just Galvan smart. He's dangerously smart. The kind of smart that bends rules, breaks boundaries, and builds his own Omnitrix out of pure spite. But having an ego interferes with making the decision. When Vilgax and Albedo got teamed up, they had an agreement.
I need the Omnitrix, and you want it. That's a bad basis for an alliance.
I don't want the Omnitrix anymore.
Vilgax brings a strange type of robots called bioids. Despite being robots, bioids have, or mimic, enough genetic substance that can allow for them to receive input from the Omnitrix and transform into aliens.
My bioids are synthetic soldiers with blank DNA, all synced to the Omnitrix.
Just as any Omnitrix user would. Because of this, they can forgo many of the typical requirements to transform, such as needing to have the Omnitrix attached to them, and simply receive the Omnitrix's signal remotely. Vilgax took advantage of this by syncing all of his bioids to the Omnitrix, which allowed him to select an alien and instantly transform his entire army into that selected alien. For someone who is genius among the smartest species in the galaxy, Albedo should have noticed that right away. One theory is he did notice that he knew Vilgax is double-cross him, but his ego was to focus on Ben. He believed he is so smart, even if Vilgax tried to double-cross him, he would figure it out and he'll be fine. But this second reason is absolutely crazy and proven in the show. When Ben transforms into aliens, Ben's personality and intelligence level changes. For example, when Ben changes into Wrath, he gets stupider, angrier. When he turns into gray matter, he gets smarter, more logical. So in this case, when Albedo changes into human form, his intelligence level goes down, which causes him to make bad decisions. Being a human does change Albedo. When he was human, Albedo's behavior becomes more erratic and vengeful, driven by his desire to reclaim his Galvan form and fueled by a hatred for Ben Tennyson. In his original Galvan form, he is portrayed as arrogant, prideful, and disdainful of those he perceives as lesser, particularly other species. This battle between Galvan form and human forms inside Albedo tore him mentally, making him unable to take logical decisions at will. He was able to create a 2 Omnitrix, Inferior Omnitrix and Ultimatrix, even if they weren't powerful as the original and even if they weren't made from scratch. It is still impressive even for a Galvan, but on the other hand, he wasn't able to unlock the transformation that he needed. In short, Albedo is a villain who is incredibly smart. Making him focus on physical powers is just a waste. I don't mean he shouldn't have powers. I meant was Albedo's human form looks identical to Ben, and he is incredibly smart. With that combo, we should have seen some horror in Ben 10 universe. Focusing on those sides would do better justice on Albedo. Like Superman and Lex Luthor, Superman is a genius, but he is more focused on his power, but Lex Luthor, even if he is a billionaire and he can acquire powers, the show focuses on his intelligence. Ben and Albedo should have been like this. There were moments for Albedo, but we should have seen more. And honestly, part of the blame for Albedo becoming a villain? That goes to Azmuth too. He wasn't just Albedo's boss, he was his mentor. The smartest being in the universe should have seen the warning signs. He should have stepped in, guided Albedo, helped him grow, helped him deal with that obsession. But Azmuth was too focused on his inventions, too locked into his own genius. He let Albedo spiral, and by the time he paid attention, it was too late. Now, don't get me wrong, Albedo's actions are his own. His downfall isn't entirely Azmuth's fault. But a mentor's job is to shape brilliance into something good. And Azmuth, for all his wisdom, dropped the ball.